Hello everybody, and welcome to the spookiest Halloween episode ever. Today I'm going to be drinking spooky beer. God. Let's see. There. Oh God, hope you appreciate that hilarious Halloween stunt. I think did I pick up the wrong bottle there? I don't know, I might have picked up Sailor Jerry's. I went to pick up this spooky ale. I've been saving this for Halloween, the official ghost brew for All Hallows. It's from Shepherd's Neame, so it should be pretty good. And it might be out of date actually. Also, I can't tell what I'm filming. The camera's still broken, so I don't know if the camera's pointing at me or not. So I don't know what this camera's showing. I might be completely like off the camera screen. Some spooky background noises for the spooky episode. Okay, it says a classic beer of true quality, spooky ale is characterised by its huge biscuity malt palate derived from three traditional roasted barley malts used in the mash, giving a glorious deep red hue. The excitingly complex malty flavours are wonderfully balanced by huge citrusy hoppy bitterness and aroma from a particularly fruity hop added at 4 stages in the brewing process. The memory of this beer will haunt you forever. Spooky. I'm trying to find the sell by date because I'm sure this was out of date, but I kept it anyway. It's even scarier because it's out of date. I don't know where the date is on this thing. Doesn't really matter, does it? Who cares? I'm sure we'll get poisoned. Yeah. All right. Whatever. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with finding the date on it. It doesn't make any difference, does it? Oh man, I didn't have a bottle opener. Okay, there we go. Ripped it off with my teeth. So, it smells really nutty. I haven't done a drinking video in ages. Someone said today that my recent videos are kind of depressing. Yes, I agree. Let's do a good old time drinking video for old time's sake. And this is one I was actually planning to do anyway, a Halloween video. Spooky ale, how could I resist? I've actually got it in my tankard, my metal tankard for extra spooky points, but you won't be able to actually see the colour of it. It doesn't look that ruby red, to be honest, as it's pouring out. It looks more brown. You may be able to see the head on the camera there, I don't know. I keep looking to see if the little lights on the camera's flashing because I can't actually tell if it's recording or not. Actually, I'll pour a little bit into this glass here so you can see the colour of it. See how good of a beer review I am. Also, I don't think the colour correction is right on the camera. I think it's set for daytime, but there's no way I can change the settings. That's how fucked it is. It does look really carbonated from this little bit here. You can see all the bubbles. And it doesn't look that ruby red, to be honest. It looks more sort of browny coloured. It's got a red hint. A bloody red hint to it, but it's not like one of those really deep red beers you get. Ah man, I miss doing these drinking videos. That is delicious. It's just got this real bitter sort of biscuity taste to it. Like a really dark chocolate covered biscuit or something like that. Very nice. Wow. Okay, let's get the rest of it in the tankard. It's sort of overflowing a bit now, but yeah, I don't know why I picked this drinking vessel. I don't know. It's kind of, it's a bit more spooky than usual, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, let's have a go. Yeah, I don't drink enough ales anymore. Really, that is really nice. Yeah, it said hoppy taste, so I was thinking, oh no, it's not going to be another one of those like IPA tasting ones, but it's really not. It's not like, it hasn't got like that green grassy hop taste. It's got this like bitter. It kind of just hits the side of your tongue, and it kind of makes your tongue kind of pucker up a little bit somehow, you know, like that sort of dry feeling you get, like really dry. It makes you want to like drink more of it, and it's, you know, it's not that like with like an IPA or something. Whenever anything on a bottle now says hoppy, I always expect it to taste like that, because, you know, that's sort of the trendy thing with beer, isn't it? But it's like that sort of green, grassy sort of hops, fresh taste. It hasn't got that though. It's just, which is pleasantly surprising. It's like I say, it's got those like a really warm, malty, chocolatey, coffee sort of flavour, and then this like dry, bitter finish from the hops, which but it's like I say, it's not that sort of green taste. That is good beer. My God, I'm glad I saved this for Halloween. I was just gonna drink. I was so tempted by it, the spooky beer. Oh man, what is the sell-by date of this beer? Honestly, it's so hard to find the date on these things. Maybe it's better because it's out of date. I don't even know if it is out of date. I just keep saying it is, just to make it true. Who knows? It doesn't matter, does it? I don't know why I'm so obsessed with that, but I hope people are enjoying the drinking video. Halloween, my favourite time of year, and I thought I'd do an old time sake drinking video. I apologise if people subscribe for the drinking and drug taking content and that sort of has died off recently. It's just because of sort of recent lifestyle changes and things, so yeah, sorry if the recent content isn't up to your taste. It's just, I don't know, whatever. I appreciate the feedback from people. If you want to say whether new content is good, bad, whatever, what you think of it, then you know, I don't take offence to it. It's fine. Take it on board. And, yeah, I thought, yeah, drinking video. It is time. Don't just keep making videos about the same fucking antidepressants and all that. Am I still filming? Yes, I can see the little light blinking. Anyway, to keep up the spooky theme, I've got my skull shot glass here, and I'm going to drink some Sailor Jerry's spiced rum. Limited edition bottle design apparently. It's not very creepy, the Sailor Jerry's, but it's the only thing I had really to have a shot with. So. Cheers everyone, happy Halloween. Oh. It's not good drinking it like that. Tell you what though, I made some jerk sauce. Jerk chicken with I made it with the Sailor Jerry's, and it was delicious. Very good as a jerk sauce ingredient. Oh yeah, Sailor Jerry's much better mixed, so you know the flavours come out a lot more. I didn't get a lot of the nice taste than just doing it as a shot. So I thought, as it's a Halloween episode, I'd give you some horror recommendations. Because I've seen like 2 horror films at the cinema recently, and they were both pretty good. So I thought I would talk about them, give a little mini review, let you know what I thought of them. The first was It, the Stephen King adaptation. It's one of my favourite books. Like, I like Stephen King, but It is probably like one of my favourite books of his. I also really like the TV mini-series. Like, this is what everyone says who's about my age, is that they saw it on TV when they were a kid and it scared the shit out of them. And then when they watch it when they're older, it doesn't seem as good. But I don't know, I still like it. I still think it's a good film. But the new It movie, I really recommend. It's very sort of Hollywoody. It's very sort of modern horror. Lots of like these sort of cheap jump scare sort of things, you know, like you're always expecting something to go boo and jump out, and that happens like constantly through the film. But see, I was thinking about this. I think this how all these modern films, and they're just sort of relying on jump scares. I think like in 10 or 20 years time we'll look back on this era of horror films, and the jump scare, it'll be like a genre. It'll be like the jump scare, the 2010 jump scare movie, like the way we look back on like the 80s slasher, or I don't know, did 90s have one? I can't remember, but you know what I mean, that kind of like the noughties had tons of zombie films. I think when we look back, we'll look back on the whole jump scare thing as being sort of this time, and sort of look at it as a sort of genre or sub-genre of horror films in itself. And then we'll have to look through to find which ones are good and which ones are bad within that genre. So I think at the minute, whenever we go to see a horror film, if it's got a load of jump scares in, we always think, oh, it's just cheap jump scares throughout the movie, and we sort of discount it. Whereas I think in the future, when we see it more as like a novelty from a certain time period, we'll be able to see which ones were good from within that genre. So I recommend It as a good movie within the jump scare genre. And I don't know, I think it's really well made. It's really like you can tell that they've kind of looked at Stranger Things and tried to get that vibe for it, because Stranger Things was Stephen King inspired. So like they've moved like the kids from the 50s to the 80s, and it has that like 80s sort of vibe to it. But I don't know, a fly just landed on my nose mid-video. But I don't know, I just think it was really, like, I really loved the clown. I really love Pennywise, like the makeup in it, the acting of the clown as well. Just like, I just think he's got like this real, like, it's sort of like he's just got such dead eyes, and like the way he acts and the way like his voice is, it just really adds to like the character of it. And also there's bits where they've got him moving, and it's like they've done something, like, I don't know if it's CGI or something within the effects that make him look really unnatural. Like, you can tell he's not really a human moving around. It's not like fucking Tim Curry Pennywise, just a guy in a clown suit. You can tell it's some kind of unearthly creature, but like manifesting as a clown. I just think, I don't know, it's really iconic, the clown makeup and everything. I just think, you know, as far as modern day horrors go, that was a very good, well-made horror. Doesn't hit the mark all the way through the film. some bits are a bit shit, I thought. The ending especially, I didn't like the ending. I thought they took the concept of the line, they all float down here, and took it way too literally and made like a, I don't know, too much of a spectacular thing towards the ends, which I don't know. I didn't like the ending as much, but it doesn't matter. The film taken as a whole, I highly recommend. And if you haven't seen it already, go see it or wait for it to come out. Even better, because people fucking talk all the way through the movie when you go and see them in cinemas these days. And the other film that I wanted to see, which I also recommend, is Happy Death Day, which is much more of a comedy horror, very tongue-in-cheek if you think along the lines of Scream or something like that. It's kind of one of these very self-aware, it is very much like Scream in that way, like it's a slasher film, but it kind of turns a lot of it on its head, and is, you know, the concept is it's basically like a slasher film mixed with Groundhog Day. This girl wakes up on her birthday, she goes through the day, and then someone comes out in a spooky mask and kills her. And as soon as she gets killed, she wakes up again in the start of the day, the start of her birthday again. And it's just like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day, like she wakes up and she hears like the radio or the phone or something, it's the same thing, and she's like, you know, it takes her a while to work out what's going on. It's got that whole kind of weirdness to it, of like waking up on the same day each day. But the only difference is she gets murdered at the end of each day, and I think it works more as a comedy film than a horror, to be honest. The horror elements are there, but it's sort of more of a comedy film. And I don't know what it is. I really like the actress in it. I think she's really funny, and like, you know, like she starts off this really horrible character you just hate, and you just want to see her get killed, and then she becomes more likable as it goes on, and also it keeps you guessing. Like it twists so much that you're trying to figure out which one's the killer, and there's all these different people you think it could be, and then it makes you completely, like, sideswipes you from like towards the end. It's like, but you thought it was this person, you know. It really like takes you by surprise. But it's a good film, I'd say. I don't want to. It's like one of them films where I don't want to say too much about it because it might like spoil the film. So the reason why I wanted to mention it is because I saw the trailer and I didn't really take much notice of it. It just looked like a generic slasher movie, boring. And the title Happy Death Day is crap, like it just seemed unoriginal and rubbish. And then Alex said, oh, let's go see this movie, it looks good, because she'd like read more about it, and I was like, oh, it looks shit from the trailer. And but she basically like forced me to go, and then by the end of it I was like, that film was amazing, because it's I don't know, you gotta go and see it, honestly. Again, it's not a perfect movie. There's bits where it gets a little bit too sickly sweet. It gets a little bit too millennial for my taste. It's a little bit too Netflixy, I guess. But you know, apart from that, I recommend. So It and Happy Death Day, two horror recommendations from modern days. And like, everyone sort of shits on modern horrors, but I don't know. There's two good ones for you. I don't know, I put on this, I don't know if you can hear this sound in the background. I put on, it's called 10 hours of scary ambient sound. It's not very scary, it just sounds like someone hitting like a radiator or something. I don't know. Anyway. Oh yeah, another one, which I haven't seen, but I'm actually considering it like, is the new Saw film, because I wasn't really thinking about it really, because you know I'm not that into the Saw films. They kind of get more stupid as they go on, and you know, a new one, so what, but and then someone at work told me that it was directed by the same guy who directed the film called What We Do in the Shadows, which is on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it's this New Zealand, it's kind of like a spoof documentary comedy, but it's set as if there's 3 vampires living in a house, or 4 vampires actually, I can't remember. But it's proper funny, and it's really like, you can tell that they really love vampire movies, and they just like, they put all these like references to all these vampire movies in there, and you know, the vampires in there all sort of represent like there's a Bela Lugosi type of vampire, and there's like a Nosferatu type, and they all sort of live in the house, and it's, I don't know, it's funny. There's one who's like the you know, in the movie Bram Stoker's Dracula, is it Francis Ford Coppola who directed that? He's basically the Dracula, you know, when he sort of becomes young in that movie. He does that, like he looks through the window and he's like, "See me," and then like she doesn't reply, so he knocks on the window. Fucking hell, I'm rambling. You can tell I don't drink much these days. I've had 1 shot and most of this spooky ale. I'm fucking rambling on about bollocks. Anyway, that's a really good horror, well, comedy horror recommendation as well, What We Do in the Shadows. And yeah, I didn't know, but apparently the guy who directed that also directed the new Saw movie, so maybe it'll be really good. I don't know. It might be one to go and see. If anyone's seen it, let me know in the comments if you've seen it. Fucking hell, yeah, I'm getting drunk already. Look at this. This is why I don't do drinking videos much anymore, because it goes straight to my head. Okay, that's it, finished. Hope you enjoyed. One more time, let's get this. This is one of my newest masks. This is probably my favourite one. All that stuff. Alright, see you later everyone, thanks for watching.